सो व्यूअर्स नमस्कार, एक बार फिर आपका स्वागत मेरे चैनल पे। और अभी जिस टॉपिक को हमने पीछे छोड़ा पिछले वाले वीडियो में कि जो है क्या स्ट्रेटेजी होनी चाहिए, वासनाएं क्या होती हैं, उनका क्या इम्पैक्ट है, ये सारा हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। और आज मैं जो है अब आगे बढ़ रहा हूँ। आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है कि हम इसकी रेमेडी हमें क्या है, इसको कैसे कंट्रोल करना है, इस पर मैं डिस्कशन शुरू करना चाहता हूं। तो मैं सीधे जो है वापस, कार्तिक आपका हार्दिक स्वागत दूसरे सेशन में, और उसी को चर्चा को हम आगे बढ़ाते हैं। और मेरा स्ट्रेट वे आपसे क्वेश्चन है, नाउ दैट वी कैन डिस्कस दी ट्रेजेडी एंड स्ट्रेटेजी ऑलरेडी, कैन वी ऑल्सो डिस्कस नाउ ऑन रेमेडी पार्ट ऑफ इट?
Definitely, Trivanji. So, before I discuss the remedy, let me give a brief demo to you. Okay. So, are you able to see me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, I go to a party. दावत पे जाता हूँ and I see in front of me, okay, enormous amount of food. Okay. So, I have eaten all the food. I have eaten. I have completely overloaded myself. I have overloaded to the extent that I'm not able to walk. And at this juncture, somebody comes and offers me a rasgulla. I also take that rasgulla. Now, my stomach is completely overloaded. I cannot even go further from here. Can I be peaceful? I cannot be. I cannot be peaceful. I cannot be relaxed.
Yes.
At this juncture, what is the solution? So, till my stomach doesn't get relieved, I cannot be relaxed. I cannot be peaceful. So, how do I get rid of this? If I have to get rid of this, what should I do? I should either do the vomiting to remove this, or I should remove it from behind. Pura. Unless and until I remove that, whatever is the overload, till then I cannot be peaceful. My stomach will not be relaxed. I cannot be peaceful. Which is what we need to do when it comes to as a remedy to Vasanas. Okay. So, what are the remedies? Okay, so let us look at the remedy. So there are a few remedies available. Okay. First remedy is dreams. So we have 4 states of consciousness. First, waking state, dream state, deep sleep, and turiya. 4th state turiya ko to hum chhod dete hain right now because that is something pertaining to yogis and rishis. So we can talk about this at some other session. But let's only focus on the first 3 states about waking state, dream state, and deep sleep. So in this particular thing, dream state is the state where the incomplete cycle gets completed, specifically the ones which are with low intensity. So if you actually see the example which I shared earlier about I am on fasting and my neighbor has invited me for pav bhaji and I have desired to have pav bhaji, but I am on fasting. So now what will happen is, while sleeping, I will dream as if I am having pav bhaji. In that process, the incomplete cycle will get completed and released. Okay. So I will fulfill this in my dream and that incomplete cycle will get flushed out. That is why we say sleep is very important and that should never be disturbed with this interference. So let me also clarify something over here. So in case while sleeping, many of people say that I had a bad dream. Understand one thing. If you had a bad dream, then you should feel blessed. For something negative, something which you had processed in your mind that has got settled as an incomplete cycle, has now got settled and is flushed away from your subconscious mind. So you no more carry that incomplete cycle. So this bad dream has eliminated that incomplete cycle from your life itself. Let me also clarify one more thing. We often hear from people that सुबह का सपना सच हो जाता है. Early morning dreams come true, especially if it's a bad dream. So now with this clarity you will understand वो कभी सच नहीं होगा. That will never happen. Okay. So if a bad dream has happened, feel blessed that you are relieved of that incomplete cycle. Now let me come to the next remedy. The second remedy is crying out loud. So when a child is hurt, okay, or the child desired something and is not getting that, what will the child do? Will the child say,
Hmm.
no? Child will cry and bring the entire ceiling down.
Hmm.
What does happen? The child is crying with intensity. So, post that intensity, what happens? The memory of the hurt remains, but the pain associated with the hurt is gone.
Hmm.
So, there is no incomplete cycle which is settled in the child. So, that is why in ancient years, what people used to do was whenever somebody dies, they used to force people to cry so that even if the memory of separation is there, but the hurt pertaining to the separation is wiped out. So there is no incomplete cycle which is settled. So the second remedy is crying out loud. So
Correct.
when we say that crying exposes the weakness, no, it is wrong. Instead, when you cry, you become even stronger.
Hmm.
That is why they say रोने से दिल हल्का हो जाता है. You feel lighter after crying.
Correct.
There's a third remedy which is called as laughing out loud. When I say laughing out loud, I am not referring to the emoji called as LOL, which we use in the social media, WhatsApp. I am not referring to that. Laughing out loud. Dil khol ke hasna.
Hmm.
Okay. Or you also call it belly laughter.
Hmm.
So, how does a child laugh? When a child cries, the child cries with intensity. Similarly, when a child laughs, the child also laughs with an intensity. That is what ensures you become lighter. So, after laughing, you feel lighter. Not because the weight of the person has come down. No, the load which is there in the subconscious mind has actually come down, which in turn means that your incomplete cycles have been removed, which is what makes you feel lighter.
Hmm. True.
There is a fourth remedy, which is called as communicate. If I am hurt in a relationship by somebody, so what should I do? Usually, we suppress and do not let the other person know.
Correct.
Instead, what I say is, when I do that, I leave an incomplete cycle. Instead, go to the other person, okay, and communicate that I am hurt by the other person. So when I communicate I am hurt by the other person, I will relieve myself of the incomplete cycle.
Hmm.
You can have a question. What if the other person does not have the maturity to understand? You can leverage on something called as virtual reality. So what I do, I sit in a closed room. Imagine as if the person is sitting next to me, and I give whatever I want to give back to the person, I give back over there. I give back with intensity. I shout at that person. The person is not there. I am imagining the person is there. I am shouting. Dil khol ke gali de raha hu. Whatever abuse I can give, I do that. And at the end of this process, when I get up, I feel that I am completely relieved. The other person is not there. I am imagining the other person is there, and I am doing all these things. And what I am doing in turn by doing this, I am relieved of the incomplete cycles.
Correct.
Alternate way, there's an alternate way to do it. I can pick a piece of paper and write a letter telling all that I am feeling because of the hurt the person has inflicted on me, and write a detailed letter. Put all the abuses you want to give the person, give it. Write that letter. After writing the letter, what should you do? Okay, and one very important, do not use technology for this. Use paper and pen, and bring your complete intensity on the letter. Communicate with absolute transparency that you are, whatever the person has given you, you are giving back to the person in the form of letter. After writing the letter, what should you do? Pick that letter, either burn it, bury it, or destroy it and throw it off. Now, what has happened? Your subconscious mind doesn't understand whether the person is physically in front of you or not. But you have whatever you want to communicate to that person, you already done that and you have destroyed it. So you are at one end, you have relieved yourself of all the incomplete cycles, and the other person, you need not bother whether the other person knows that you have given it to the person or not.
Correct.
Okay. After doing all this thing, how will you feel? You will once again feel light, very, very light. Okay.
True.
Subconscious mind doesn't understand whether the present person was physically present or not. What it understands is you had unexpressed emotions which you have now expressed and you have relieved yourself.
Correct.
These all are the remedies which we picked up from which you can do through conscious approach. There is a fifth remedy also available, which we bring.
So Karthik, before you move into the fifth, I just want to add on your the fourth remedy which you talk about, because it is very important. I think in some session we earlier little bit talk about that. The thing is, Karthik, that is the biggest practical problem in our society or our homes, our relationship. When we don't express our views, our anxiety, what we have inside, that could be anything, something I want and that I have not achieved, that become an anxiety for me. Unless until I am not addressing that, unless until I am not expressing that or releasing that, as you said, subconscious mind takes that, things feed into memory, and that will always bother you. I would suggest we will do sometime that conscious, subconscious mind and the power of subconscious mind, that we will get into another session in deep dive. But the important thing is two things: expressing. Don't keep anything inside you, just to express, as you as you tell, the way the child cry, express and explain and release the stress and anxiety whatever he has. Similarly, we should also do that. And second important thing is, we should have some people in our circle. वो भी एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कार्तिक, कि लोगों का कम्युनिकेशन ही नहीं होता है. अगर आप हस्बैंड वाइफ का कम्युनिकेशन देखो, अगर वो पॉजिटिव नहीं है, एक ऐसा रिलेशन है जहां मैं मानता हूं कि चीजें लोग बांटते हैं एक दूसरे के साथ, पर कुछ चीजें ऐसी हो सकती हैं, हो सकता है आप अपने स्पाउसेस के साथ भी नहीं बांटते हो. तो आपके पास कुछ ऐसे लोग होने चाहिए जो कि कभी जजमेंटल नहीं है टुवर्ड्स यू, जो आप पे जज नहीं करते हैं, राइट? आप उनसे फ्री होके सब कुछ बोलना आपको चाहिए, और वो आपकी बात वैसे ही लेना भी चाहिए. तो ऐसे लोगों का आसपास में, जो आपके कुछ अच्छे मित्र हो सकते हैं, दोस्त हो सकते हैं, आपका बॉस हो सकता है, आपका ऑफिस का कलीग हो सकता है, और हो सकता है आपकी वाइफ हो सकती है, स्पाउस हो सकता है. लेकिन ये करना बहुत जरूरी है. यही बात मैं आपको ऐड करना चाह रहा था, क्योंकि शायद हमने कहीं और डिस्कशन में भी ये बात आई थी, मुझे याद आ रहा है, जो मैं बाकी सेशन करता हूँ विद अदर स्पिरिचुअल टॉक्स में, कहीं ना कहीं इट केम. सो आई थॉट आई विल just add on this
definitely
conversation. So now you can move on the next remedy which you are talking
sure
about. Yeah.
The next remedy is something which we pick through religion. So there's a religious practice called japam and dhyanam.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have not understood the science behind this, and therefore we do this activity mechanically and wonder why it is not helping us. Okay, so let us discuss the science on how japam and dhyanam can be used as a remedy in this specific topic about how to get rid of incomplete cycles. So let me take another analogy over here. So when we see havan kund, okay, the place where you do havan, what does the havan kund contain? What do we give to the havan kund? We give to the havan kund the wood, the dry cow dung, the ghee, okay, and we give all this to the fire. And what do we get in return? We get bhasm in return. And when does this happen? It does not happen during the burning. Once the burning is over, it is just left like that. After some time, okay, maybe a day or so, then we get everything completely converted to bhasma. The same thing happens during japam and dhyanam. So I'll take one example. So if you take the case, the most commonly used mantra in our religion is Gayatri Japam. So how do we do that Gayatri chant? Okay. Close my eyes. I just leave the hands free. Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yona prachodayat. So I did one chant of Gayatri Japa. So what happens during this chanting? When I do the chanting, my body becomes the Havan Kunda. And the body contains the mind, which in turn has the Vasanas in it. So the Havan Kund, what you put, the wood and the cow dung, all that, the Vasanas become the wood and the cow dung here.
Correct.
The chanting which I did loudly, that chanting unlocked, that chanting went and hit multiple chakras in the body, and it started unlocking energy from each and every chakra. Now I also kept the hands open. So with the hands open, I am also drawing the cosmic energy into me, and the fire becomes more and more intense when I do multiple chanting. Now I have kept my eyes closed and I kept all the distractions away. So with this, what I'm doing, I am giving the direction to the fire towards my vasanas. So post the chanting, what happens? I sit in silence with my eyes closed. So when I sit in silence with my eyes closed, what I'm doing, that chanting, whatever fire it has caused inside the body, that fire has gone and burnt some of the unwanted vasanas and it is eliminated from the body.
Correct.
So post the chanting and sitting in silence, when I get up, how do I feel? I feel very, very light. Why? Because many of the unwanted incomplete cycles and stress inside me is eliminated during the chanting.
Correct.
So to summarize the discussion, whatever we had, let's understand one thing. We understand vasanas are a very integral part of human life. And we also know the cause of vasanas. These are unfulfilled desires and unexpressed emotions.
Absolutely.
We also understand the tragedy of vasana. The tragedy of vasana is it gets carried beyond one's birth. And we also know how to use vasana as a strategy. Vasana can be used as a strategy by planting it in the form of an ashirvad in any child.
Correct.
And the final part of the session, we spoke about what is the remedies to vasanas. So the 5 remedies are sleeping, which is dreams. Through dreams, you are releasing the vasanas. Second is crying out loud. Okay, so when we cry, you become lighter and you also get relieved of the vasanas. Third one is the laughing out loud. So when you laugh, okay, you also release incomplete cycles with it. Fourth one is communicate. When you communicate, express what you're doing, that also enables you to relieve yourself of the suppressed desires or suppressed feelings, which in turn ensures relieving you of vasanas. And the very important part, which is the fifth one, which is for the first four are the conscious way of getting rid of vasanas. The fifth one, which is a super conscious way of getting rid of vasana, which is through the religious practice of japam and dhyanam.
True.
Here, let me also tell a very important aspect of this particular stuff. When in the early, before while talking of remedy, I spoke about vomiting and shitting to get rid of the unwanted load on the tummy. So when you vomit, what happens? There is no sequence in which the food comes down. Whatever is inside, it will come down. So you can't separately pick and say, I want to get rid of this part of what is there inside my stomach. I can't do that. I can bring everything out. So is the case with vasanas also. You work towards relieving yourself of some of the vasanas that you are already aware of. In the process, you are crying for something. But when you are crying out loud, you are relieving yourself of many more vasanas which you are unaware of. Same is the case with laughing, same is the case with communication, same is the case with japam and dhyanam. You are relieving yourself of other vasanas. You are focusing, you are thinking, you are relieving of vasanas that you are aware of. Even without your awareness, many more vasanas are also getting released. So let's also understand one more thing. The vasanas, okay, since these vasanas get accumulated on daily basis, its elimination should also take place on a daily basis. The way we do bathing, brushing, shitting, that is the way we have to also make this elimination of vasanas as a daily practice so that you can get rid of it. And as I always speak with in all my session, I say, my life is my responsibility. So I will achieve self-mastery only by taking complete responsibility of my life and getting rid of vasanas from my life.
करेक्ट. तो व्यूअर्स, ये जो रेमेडी पार्ट है, ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है, जैसा कि कार्तिक ने एम्फिसाइज किया एंड टोल्ड अस फ्यू मेथड्स ऑफ इट, जिसमें से कुछ मेथड बहुत ट्रस्टेड हैं. और इसमें जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो हमारे अनफुलफिल्ड डिज़ायर हैं और जो हमारी कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो अगर हम उसको एक्सप्रेस नहीं करते हैं, रिलीज नहीं करते हैं फ्रॉम आवर डे टू डे लाइफ, दैट विल बी पाइल्स अप एंड गेट पाइल्स अप इनटू द सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, विच बिकम द डिजास्टर फॉर अस. ये बहुत बड़ा साइंस है, इस पर बहुत सारे रिसर्च हुई हैं. और इसी के साथ मैं एक ऐसी बुक आपको ज़रूर रेकमेंड करूंगा, मेरे हाथ में है, पावर ऑफ सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, जोसेफ मर्फी, जो कि है दुनिया के एक रिनोड दार्शनिक भी रहे, बाद में स्पीचर भी रहे, और उन्होंने कई चीज़ों पर काम किया. उन्होंने ये बड़ी साइंटिफिकली ये किताब लिखी है. इस किताब को आप ज़रूर पढ़ें. इससे आपको वो चीज़ रिलेट करने में बहुत आसानी होगी जो अभी कार्तिक ने और हमने डिस्कस किया है. और कार्तिक, मैं ये भी हम कोशिश करेंगे कि वी विल गेट इनटू सम अनदर सेशन वेयर वी विल डिस्कस एंड डीप डाइव इनटू स्पेसिफिकली दिस कॉन्शियस एंड सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, और जो इसकी पावर है. इट कुड बी हमारा जो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड है, दैट इज ए सो पावरफुल. अगर उसको मैं सही तरीके से यूटिलाइज करूँगा तो आई थिंक आई कैन डू वंडर. और ऐसे जो बड़े बड़े लोग हैं जिन्होंने दुनिया में नाम किया, तो उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं इस पावर को यूटिलाइज करा है. तो आई थिंक वी विल प्लान सम सेशंस. कार्तिक, इसी के साथ आपका बहुत बहुत मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि आपने आज व्यूअर्स को हमारे साथ ये बहुत बढ़िया जानकारी दी है. और इसके साथ ही मैं समझता हूँ कि व्यूअर्स इसको लाइक करेंगे. और व्यूअर्स, एक बात, जो भी हम ये जितने सेशन करते हैं, मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, आप अपने क्वेरीज भेज सकते हैं जिस पर हम फर्दर डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. और ये फोरम बना भी इसीलिए है कि ये टू वे कम्युनिकेशन अगर होगा तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा, क्योंकि अगर वन वे कम्युनिकेशन चल रहा है तो इतना बेनिफिशियल नहीं होता है। लेकिन अगर टू वे कम्युनिकेशन है, आपकी तरफ से भी कुछ फीड आती हैं, क्वेश्चंस आती हैं, तो वी कैन एड्रेस इन अदर सेशंस दोज क्वेश्चंस। इसी के साथ इस सेशन का मैं अंत करता हूं। जो लोग मेरे चैनल पर नए हैं कृपया सब्सक्राइब करें और सपोर्ट करें। कार्तिक, एक बार
Thank you.
आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच।